So today what we're going to look at is the constitutional questions involved in this situation. It turns out that people did challenge this. Some people did feel that their rights were being violated. And we're going to look at the case of someone who took this all the way to the Supreme Court. And you know that the Supreme Court decides constitutionality, right? And in order to look at that, I think we need to take a look at the Constitution. I suggest you do a read aloud, think aloud. Right, a think aloud to get you started for each section. And then between the two of you, you figure out what it means and how you're going to summarize it. And everybody has their own summary by the end of this, because we're going to be using this then to look at what happened in the camps.
Habeas corpus. Didn't we hear that somewhere before?
This is what Abraham Lincoln suspended in the Civil War.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, the privilege of writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended unless in cases of rebellion, invasion, or public safety may require it. So that would fit the Civil War, you know?
Yeah.
So basically, you
cannot
can't
suspend habeas corpus without extreme cause. So it's really up to them. It's not.
It's up to the executive
Congress. I think Lincoln got it passed by law. I don't think he. No, he must have done it. No, he did it by executive order, didn't he? I don't know how he did that. It's probably somewhere in the next article.
We didn't go after them before for any specific reason. So once they bombed Pearl Harbor, we're like, Japanese, and so we put, them all in internment camps. And it was after the fact, which is post facto, after the fact. So I think that's what, and I think the Bill of Attainder is like where they keep someone in.
People, can I have your attention just for a moment? There are some places where you're coming up against the same problems, things like ex post facto and Bill of Attainder. So use your best guess, and we'll talk about that as a whole class, okay? So just note where you're having problems, and we'll solve problems in the big group in a while. Okay.
It's just you can't add something after the fact.
Yeah, you can't imprison people.
So they have to be able to be enforced by those mentioned before, and they have to also abide by the Constitution. Is that what it's saying?
What do you think, Alicia? Good. What do you make of this part, all other powers vested by this Constitution?
Weirdest on the first part. All others mentioned by it, because like an example is the Navy is mentioned, the Army is mentioned. So then any other powers, any other, I guess, form of whatever has to also abide by them or go by that.
Jacqueline, what do you make of that vested?
The powers in there, I guess. Where are we at?
Have you ever heard that, like sometimes a judge in a movie or something will say, or something, or in a marriage? Yeah, vested. Yeah. In other words, you
the powers given to you.
So in this case, it's the powers given to whom?
Congress.
Congress by the Constitution. Okay.
As you're going through this, and I know some of you were looking at the amendments and some of you weren't there yet, what is occurring to you about the relevancy of all of this to the relocation camps? What's come to mind? Tully.
With the one that says that for treason, how it couldn't be by association with a blood member or relative, sort of seems like that everyone who was brought into the internment camps were brought there because of their relations with their parents and grandparents and where they were from, and like that. It wasn't to do with anything but that they were Japanese and that they had Japanese blood. So I thought that related and went against what the Constitution states.
Denise.
I think that when it said that you couldn't be charged of treason unless there was 2 testimonies against you or that you confessed, yet the Japanese, they were just taken into the concentration camps without even like having any reason to be there.
Alex.
If I was the U.S. government, I would use the 5th Amendment where it says rights of accused persons can be denied during wartime, basically. That if I was Congress and the U.S., I'd been like, well, we're doing it to protect the nation. We don't know who's who. And so that seems like the main defense for the whole time of Japanese internment.
Okay. Joseph.
I think that particular clause she's referring to is reserved for people in military service. except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in militia when actual service in time of war or public danger. So that just means that martial law doesn't require the grand jury indictment.
People follow what Joseph said?
No.
Okay. Can we start there tomorrow? I know that it's break time, and this is what I'd like you to do for homework. I'd like you to finish the summarizing on your own. Come in with it, and then we'll do a little pair check-in about, do you agree with each other's summaries there? And then we're going to do the next step tomorrow. Okay? Nice work, everybody. Well done.